Matt, I mean, in terms of the numbers, it doesn't look like the revenues were comparable to street estimates, and it doesn't look like we got an EPS number. What is moving the stock right now?
Yeah, well, I think thanks for having me, by the way. And I think what we're seeing here in the Canadian space and in the cannabis space overall is there's a lot of exuberance coming into the market. Clearly, a very high growth industry. I think the prospect for federal decriminalization or some sort of movement there on that front is something that's getting a lot more retail into the space. But certainly the print here looks generally as expected, but there's a number of takeaways here that I think are slightly troubling, and this is something that I think is consistent with the sector overall as we're seeing flattened revenue and a lot of material write-offs here, given a significant amount of infrastructure that was invested in this space over the last number of years, which looks like is a little bit saturated now.
Matt, I know you've got a hold on the rating, and these stocks have been super volatile. How hard is it to value them in this environment? And what sort of percentage move, either up or down from here, would it require for you to be able to confidently go from hold to buy or sell?
Well, there's a lot of moving parts in there, so I can't really, predict exactly, where these stocks are going to move relative to fundamentals versus a lot of hype that's in the sector. So certainly you have to be very cautious when you're doing that. At the end of the day, you really want to look at what's the fundamental underpinning of these companies, and a lot of it, in order to get to maturation here, is going to be in their adult use sort of consumer-branded CPG type companies. And when you look at Aurora's print right here, about 28 or 29 million of their total revenue for the quarter is really all that's adult use. That's down about 17% sequentially. So it's a run rate business now at about 100 million when it comes to those types of revenues, and that's something that gets harder and harder to justify these valuations, as there's a lot of excitement and upside going into the space right now. So you really have to, not buy into the hype too much and try and chase these stocks, but you have to kind of pull yourself back a little bit and look at where these companies are in their growth curve and where we think they're situated as market leaders or in that sort of ordering.
Yeah. Well, shares of Aurora are up about 11% right now in after hours, as well as some of the other cannabis names. Matt Bottomley, thanks for breaking it down for us.
Thank you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.